Holy smokes, this thing is awesome. It is the newest oven from Uni Pizza Ovens.
Hello everybody, it's David R. Becker again for your Thursday night paint along, and we're going to be doing a scene from Venice this time. And but first I want to tell you some of the workshops I have coming up, and because I'm going to be out of state for a little bit, and we're not going to have some in the state of Illinois workshops at the moment. So we're going to be going up to Duluth first for a 2-day workshop, and that's at Duluth Art Institute. Hold on here, shoot. Okay, there we go. No feedback. We don't want feedback. All right, so we're going to be at the Duluth Art Institute and for 2 days on the 27th, 26th, and 27th, 28th, I think, the Friday and Saturday. And so we'll do a watercolor workshop there. And I bring everything for you, so you don't have to actually, when you sign up to this one, you don't have to bring anything. Everything is supplied for you on that one. Then we have the workshop in Dillman's. That's in Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. And that's a 4-day workshop. I think that one might be almost full, but if you want to give it a shot, see if they have an opening. I think they may have a couple, but they're pretty full. And then we're going to be heading over to Grand Marais for the Grand Marais Plein Air event, and for that we're going to be doing a mini workshop. And so that's just a 1-day, like a mini workshop that where again I bring everything, and we'll be working outside, and we'll be working in Grand Marais, probably doing a scene from the boats that are out there, because I love doing boats anyways. So for today though, we're going to be going into my website here to tell every beginner that has ever seen one of my demos, come here to find out everything about me. And so just come to my website, and if you want to see what we're painting, it's right down here. See, there you go, it's right in the middle there. And so that's what we're painting today. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter where I tell you everything that we're going to be painting, and it's a free newsletter that comes every Thursday, so just come here, sign in, write your name and email, and you get that right there. All right, so and now supplies, I just put it out here so you can see what colors I'm using on my palette. Those are the colors, they're Holbein colors, best colors in the world, best Holbein watercolors. They don't dry out. And my brushes, of course, my brushes you can get on my website. All right, let's go right to the value study. And this afternoon I already did this painting, and I'm always not doing it perfect, so this is okay, but there's gonna be a couple of things I'm changing and about the picture itself. So if you look, what I did is I made the sky really blue from the sky up here. I made it really blue. I wanted to do like a Greek island sky, and so that's what we did, and I'm not sure I like that. And so we're gonna keep the sky a little bit lighter, and in this picture you have a guy right here and these big long posts. I didn't like that, so I took it down. I put them here, but I think now I'm going to put the people a little closer. You can see I put them in the center here a little bit more, because I was fighting to what was the center of interest, what was the area of interest, I like to say. So I think now the area of interest will be this whole area right here, right in the area where it's supposed to be. Here is supposed to be up here by the laundry, but we're going to be, I think we're bringing it down here. And also, I tried to make the boat a little bit better and everything like that, so we're going to see. We'll see how it all works out. So here, I keep this up here. And you can always look at this, like if you don't want to see it real time, it's going to be up here forever and ever. So just come on back, play it a little bit. Let's see who's here today. So today, who is here? We got Joyce, who did an absolutely excellent job in class. Thanks, Joyce, for she did an awesome job with her colors. We got Pamela and Patty. Thanks for stopping by. And let's go right to our tabletop. But first, we have to cheer, right? We have to see what the beer is today. The beer today is a Centradelic, New Belgium Centradelic Tangerine IPA, and it either comes from Colorado or Asheville, North Carolina. So it comes from one of those places. Let's see how this one tastes. So this is an IPA, and I usually I'm not a big fan of IPAs, especially if they're bitter, but it's a tangerine IPA, so it should be pretty decent. So I know we're gonna toast. Cheers, everybody! Cheers. Where's the camera? There it is. Cheers, guys. Cheers. I'm gonna have to let it go down a little bit, otherwise I'm gonna have foam all over my face. So let's go right into what we're gonna be doing here. So again, I'm gonna keep the sky, as you see right here. The sky is a little bit lighter on this, and I think I'm gonna keep it that way. Another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that the side of this building, which I didn't do in this one, and here if you look, I didn't keep it white, so I put white back into it. I put actual white paint, I put it back into it, And it's okay. I mean, it's really bright and vibrant, and it's not bad. It's not a bad painting, but I just want to make it better. I want to make it just slightly better and a little bit more energetic, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So it's just a little different. We always want to do something a little different at the second one, right? And who else has joined us? We got Paula, Barbie, Sue, Karen, John, Monica, and Helen. Hey, thanks for stopping by, guys. Ooh, Monica's all the way from Seattle. Nice. Here's where I want to do a workshop one of these days. So if you're in Seattle and you can get me a workshop, I'd love to come to Seattle one day again. Okay, cheers, guys. Cheers for the Citradelic. Let's see what we got here from a 1 to 11. Still bitter, but not bad. It has like a citrus taste to it. Another citrus, a bitter citrus taste. I'm going to give that, because I'm not a big IPA guy, probably an 8. All right, sorry about that for all you IPAs people. But I think it's a little bitter, but it's not bad. All right, so let's get going here. And we're going to wet our palette here. It looks like I got a little dirty. Let me just wipe it down real quick. And if you have any questions for anybody who's been there first time, we're gonna be working it from large areas to light areas to dark areas, back to front usually. And I'm not going to use masking fluid on the white parts. I did make these the laundry, the laundry we made on the line. I did paint around it last time, but you could use it if you want on there, because I painted them in colors and I didn't like that. And so I took it out. As you can see, the colors then I went over with white. So I get back to white because it didn't look good with a bunch of colors up there, because it wasn't that important to make it. And then when you lose the value, and I wanted the value to be white. And so just keep it white, I would say. All right, so let's go right in here right away. And you don't have to paint at the same time I'm painting. You can always stop the video, or I think most of you will watch it later and pause when you need to do your first wash. And I'm not wetting first like I normally do. I wet the paper first. I'm wetting with the color, and I'm going to make it a little bit lighter this time. So I'm not going to go quite crazy with the really dark blue Greek island sky. I'm kind of going in there with just slightly lighter. So we're going to go like this, go in here, kind of come down. And you can make the sky basically whatever color you want. I do want to keep it a little bit lighter, only because, and I can go right over this part. I don't have to worry about this part because this part darker, right? And actually I want to put a little bit of that in there anyways for the windows. I'm going to come right down here and just go right over my building, but go around the clothing, the dirty laundry. Well, actually now it's clean, right? Because I cleaned it, now it's on the line. So so one of the students had a great line, but now I forgot it. It's like jokes. I never remember jokes, or I can remember lines in class. So we're gonna go here, go down. And so you may have heard a splash in the background. I think my son has a party out in the pool behind me. So if you hear something out there, it's because there's a bunch of people swimming behind me, behind my studio. Go down here. Hey Helena, hey Lynn, hey Maureen, Helen, Monica. Oh, we got a lot today. So I better do this good. All right, you guys, I better do this really good. Otherwise you're gonna really. All right, so let's do the windows too, right? While I have it here, I'm gonna go right away into the windows, because the windows will reflect the color of the sky. So I'm just gonna go in here and just kind of wipe in some blue into the windows, and I can use that later. And so if I already have it on my palette, if I put it in right now, that's really cool, and I can get that done. Now what I want to do though is I want to put it right into the water. And if you look at the value study, we looked at the value study. Let me go back here really quickly. Look at the value study in this area right here. If you squint your eye, the water really isn't light like I have it over here. And now what do I think I want to do? I want to keep it all dark, or do I want to put a little light in there? And I think what I want to do this time is make it dark, because then it frames my center of interest. If I start putting my center of interest down here, because I have a lot of contrast, I'll put it right up here, a little bit of the light, but then down here I will leave it dark. So that's just a way of thinking how I can maybe keep my center of interest in this area. I want to keep my center of interest right in this area. Actually, I could probably use my finger, right, to say this. All right, cheers, guys. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So, now we're going to go into the water. And so I'm going to do the water a little bit more. And actually, I don't have to go around these boats, because these boats are darker. Always remember, if it's darker on top of a light, don't go around it. Go through it, because then you can pick up some of that color into the boat or into the object that's below there. So I'm going to put this time into the shadow and leave the light back there, because it's a little bit farther back there, right? So there's the sky. Now, like what I said this afternoon, and it's kind of funny, because when I put this painting over here, everything turns blue on the screen. So my camera is really doing some weird things. But see how I made it yellow, and I made this yellow, and it's all yellow type of thing. This time I want to make this white and give it more of a gray, which is what it is in this photo anyways. And so that it's not all that yellow. I want to make it look more realistic grays. Because in a scene outdoors, there's a lot of grays in there. And so I'm just going to put like a pinkish gray. I know it sounds weird, but it's like a reddish gray basically. And it's muddy, because some pink mixed with the other colors will get like a lavender. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some white, but I'm going to put this little gray lavender type. Now, it's not bad to put grays in your work. A lot of people don't put enough grays in their work, and I've noticed that all these really professional artists, watercolorists who are overseas, they tend to use a lot of grays. They even have their grays named after them, like Mr. Z. I always forget how to say his last name, Zubovic or something like that, but he uses a lot of grays, and actually, I think the paint company they use makes their oh, I forgot I want to keep some of it light. I said white. Keep some of it white. I'm going here, keep some of that white. And then we're going to go down here. Hey, Carol from Chicago. Thanks for stopping by. Now, we're having class this weekend up in McHenry, but then we're away for 4 weeks. And then we come back on September 23rd to do the class. So if you're local and you're doing my classes, this weekend you can come, but after that I'm going to be away for almost 4 weeks doing these workshops all over the place. So now, let's see. So I got some white in there because I want some of this white to blend in with what I have over here on the hanging on the thing right there. So now I'll go back to doing a little bit of the orange, the dirty orange, and then what I'm going to do again is go around the windows, go around the laundry. I don't have to go around the shutters because the shutters are going to be darker. And it's kind of funny when I do this in the class, I always have to stop at certain levels to let you guys do it, but on this one I just go straight through. So I always remember that it's like, whoa, this is going to be a lot faster than when it's in class. Because in class we go 2.5 hours or so. And so then I'm going to go down here. Now remember, when I wet something, I don't just leave it that one color. I'm going to put other colors in there. I'm going to leave maybe a little bit more warmth in the eave of the building, because there's a little eave right here in the building. And then down here we're going to put, and you can also put a little bit of the gray in there too. Let that gray float in there. I can go on the top of this. That's going to be red anyways. The top of the. I'll make this sign white. I'll make a sign right up here. And I threw a door in here and an awning that's not in the photo. So a lot of times you'll notice that I add extra things because I look at the picture and I don't see the picture as the end of all end. I want to change it to a point where I want to make it look better than the photograph. So I look at it and I study it and I think, okay, I think the people, instead of being one person right there, I'll put 2 over here, maybe put 1 back there, make it 3. And so I'm looking at things like in that perspective so that I make it look better than what I would do if I would just copy the photo. Copying the photo is not bad if it's a great photo, but sometimes you just need to go on and go away from that and just try to do some other things besides what you see in the photograph. And that kind of puts your own little personal touch on it too. So maybe I was actually in Venice doing a workshop at one time, and so maybe I can put some of that in there. Like maybe we were there. I can maybe drawing or something. Just make it something personal. It doesn't have to be. And especially like this is again a photograph of Venice that I have taken bunches of, but I took this one off of Unsplash again. And so it's legal to use this. They want you to use it. It's a photographer, and I always thank the photographer. Usually online I try to put his name because those kind of places are really nice that they let us use it, and especially for teaching. For my teaching purposes, it's so awesome because then you can use it and use a good photograph. And I can't go to all these places. I don't have such good photographs of all these places because I search for you guys to find really good photos that we can learn from. So thank your local Unsplash photographer because they really help us out a lot. All right, so there we got a little bit of orange, and I turned the air conditioner off again because it's so loud, but it's getting hot in here again. So if I look like I'm sweating up a storm, I am. It's so hot in here. One of these days I'm going to learn to turn it on way in the morning, and then by the time I get here in the afternoon. So that's how come we have a toast a lot. Yeah, it's about an 8. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just the IPAs are kind of bitter. I'm not a bitter beer guy. I used to work for Coors Miller and at Foot Cone and Belding, and we used to. I remember they had the bitter beer commercial for the one beer they had, where you get the bitter beer face. That was a commercial. I don't know if anybody remembers those commercials. Anyways, let's get. So now we got the color of the building, color of the big areas, and let's see what. Here we're gonna do. What should I make that awning? See, the light's hitting down on this, so I'm just gonna put a pattern in this awning, even though there's no awning in the picture. Remember, there's no awning in the picture. I just decided to put it in, and you're allowed to do that. If you want to change things around, that's more power to you. Make it your own. Make it your own, and make it work for the composition. And there'll be a shadow across there. Make it a little darker. This will be a sign later. That's a sign. Sign, everywhere sign. Okay, I'm going here. No, you don't want me to start singing, boy. It's not one of those things you want. All right, so now we're going to go into this area, and we're just going to bring it down, and we're going to do a really nice dark wash there. We're already at dark wash time. I do hope this is dry. Oh, look at that. It's dry already. So we can go right into there. And I'm going to make it pretty dark, and as again you can see here, I left it a little bit lighter on some spots. Not light, but lighter than the darkest dark. And so it's like the wrapping around. It can wrap around the building a little bit, the light. And nothing in here should be as light as in the light area, which is this area. Why? Because then this will look like it's in the light also. So that's the reason you don't put something in the shadow that's lighter, that says light is in the light area. Does that make sense? I'll say again later. So let's go in here, and let's just go in and do a nice big wash. I'm using permanent violet. I'm going to use that blue I used for the sky, permanent violet, maybe a little bit of black, and then I'll just start with that, and then I'll put it down just to see how dark it is, go around my edges, get my edges done. I'm not worrying about the drawing. Hopefully I can see through that, which I probably can't, but well, we're gonna make shift with what we get. Make do, not shift. All right, so we're gonna go, we're gonna get a little orange in there, because blue and orange. Basically, my compliments today are blue and orange. And so that's pretty blue, right? And so you know me, if you've ever been in my classes and on here, I always pour other colors into that. And before I go down, almost forgot, I wanted to show you something about perspective when you're drawing this up. So when you're drawing it up, I found that the vanishing point is that spot right here. And how can I tell that? Let me just, I have my ruler here. I just want to show you this real quickly so you can tell. So this is 1 point perspective. Everything is going to this vanishing point right there, or the window. So if I put the bottle away so it doesn't drop. So if I put my ruler here and go up, see how all these lines, and I did this freehand, so I put the ruler like this, you can see it just goes right to that vanishing point. All the lines, the windows, they all hit that one vanishing point. So it's a very simple composition to draw freehand, and you can just always eye where that center of interest, not center of interest, where that vanishing point is, and then just, you can even take your brush, see, and like this, see how it's going like this, going right there. I can tell exactly, and it's only on the side buildings. It's not on the building back there. That's just straight on, just to these buildings. So just wanted to show you that. As I was drawing it up, I was thinking, I got to explain to you guys how that works. And we did that in class too. Just it's easier to draw 1-point perspective than 2-point, and so that's just something I wanted to keep you informed about on this painting. All right, so here's a lighter color, but it's not going to stay that way. That's what was on my brush at the time. Now I'm going with a dark color. This is permanent violet, black, peach black, Prussian blue, and I'll change all these colors around. I'll just put some blue in there because the blue will reflect from the sky. And then as I come down, I can put a thicker color into the dark too. I can put a lighter color into the dark, see? And it'll look like there's a light on there, or there's a light hitting that a little bit. So I'm gonna come down here and then just, again, make things darker. And I know I'm pretty loose when it comes to making it exactly like the photograph looks. And if you wanted that, now I lost all my lines, right? But this is transparent. If I let it dry, you can see some of the lines. But if it comes where you really are making it super, super detailed and you want all those lines, you may have to resketch it when you get done with this because it's so dark. And so you would have to just go in there and kind of figure it out again. Because I'm going with pretty thick paint sometimes. And I want you to go with thick paint when you're working big in large areas in a dark area. Use enough pigments so that it will stay there. Now I'm going into a little bit of alizarin crimson type. I think it's called, what is it? Scarlet something. I forgot what color that is. Look at my list. You'll find the alizarin crimson one. There's one in there on my list. So it's, and then when you're painting, watch this. I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to follow. There's the vanishing point. I'll just do that too. Just put a couple lines in there, knowing that the vanishing point is, the lines are going that direction. Here's going straight and down. So kind of follow that when you're putting in some of these things. And I'm going to go down. Oops, I'm standing up. You can see me. I can see my stomach. How about that? Here we go. Put it down. And we'll go down here. Okay, so that's where are going to be our darks, right? And this line right here is very jaggedy, if that's the word, jaggedy. You can go through here and just put it down. And I don't want it just a straight line of the building. That would look just not so nice. And I also put in an extra little one of these poles they have in Venice for tying your boat against or keeping away from the building, that part. So I put that in there too, just because I thought it just breaks up this straight line. And so I just put that in there a little bit too. All right, I haven't looked up for a while to see if anybody knew or if you guys have questions. So questions, remember guys, questions, let me know. You guys have been here so many times, you don't have any questions because you know everything, right? I know. That's a problem. You need to tell all your friends so they can come by and they can ask questions. And you guys are doing such great work, you don't have to even watch anymore. You can just come in and just... There we go. So we're going to put this in there. The reflection is in the water right away. So there's my dark, right? My darkest dark. And I know it's kind of weird to put in right away, but while I was letting it dry, I can still put in my dark details. But those are the big areas, and so it's always want to put in the big area stuff. Now I'm going to lean on my shoulder here a little bit, or on my elbow, so I always have so I can actually use my wrist. What I do is I go like this. I kind of, when I'm painting, that way I can just bend down, and when I'm going close up, make a line, I can just kind of rest on my wrist. If I'm sitting, if I'm standing, I can't do that as much, but I sit for these. And so now I'm going to go in here and just start with any color again. I'm just starting out with a dark color. And I know I'm going with a really dark right at the moment, but that's okay because I can always put the light in there from the side here. Just going to put this in. And then we'll put a little bit of the blue reflecting from the water on the side, right? And then we're going to go right, put that blue right into the reflections. And remember I said I want to make the reflections dark on this one. And so what I want to do is I want to make this come down and then right away make some of these reflections on this boat. I know this boat, this is a boat if you can't tell in the photograph. It looks, some people were thinking it's the side of the wall, the seawall type of thing. I just make it a boat. If you want to make it a seawall, that's up to you too. You can do that. It's not a problem. I put some of these posts right in right away since I got this dark color in my brush. A lot of times if I have something in my brush and I look where I can use it in that particular area too at the same time. And of course then I go and I throw other colors in there too. Remember, I always float other colors right down into the water. And then we're going to take a blue from the sky and we're just going to come in here and go back and forth. I know we've done a lot of water lately. Last week we did the marina with the sailboats. This is just a little bit of water though. So this is a little bit more buildings this time. and I got a couple of people give me ideas for some other stuff, and so we've got a few ideas still coming up that we're going to get to. Just I can't get to everything all the time from everybody. And I go down here. All right. Get this in there. A little bit of waves, just a little bit of waves, and I'm going to bring it up and just leave a little bit of the white or the light on top a little bit more this time. Not all the way down, because I still do want to keep this in the shadow end of things. And this boat too is in the shadow, but I'm going to keep this edge hard so that it'll still be darker, but I'll round it out that way. It'll be rounded off and a hard edge at the same time. So now let's go to our rooftops here real quick. And I'm going to use like a burnt orange type of color, which is called light red for Holbein. And we're going to wet my brush. I'm wetting as I go along a lot tonight, where I'm just wetting it as with the color as I'm going along. And that's what I call it. I call it painting it as you go along. Wet in the wet as you go along, basically. So right away, I can again put this down. Go around anything I can see here. And then, wow, is it hot in here? It's like a sauna. Have you ever worked in a sauna before? You should try it sometime. Put in the sauna and see if you can sweat. And it was so hot when we did the workshop, and I was telling the students that when I was in Clayton, New York, and we did it a couple times, it got really hot in there, and we were using our sweat to use it as a technique, dropping it right into the paint. Oh, I've got some questions here. I gotta put on my glasses. Sorry, guys. So hot. My eyes are all watery. I've only used Winsor Newton cotton in tubes. You mentioned Holbein does not harden like other brands. Can you talk more about how soft it is? Does it transport well, or do you need to keep the pail flat? Oh no, it's a great. What you can do is, like with the other cotton, of course, is a really student grade. And you don't get the vibrancy of the colors of like more of a regular non-student grade paint. And actually, Holbein doesn't make student grade paint because they're very worried about making sure that their paint is the best. Like they really want to have high quality stuff, and so there's no low quality paints that Holbein makes. And it's like rubber. Like if I press it like this, it's rubbery, and so it rejuvenates instantly. And the reason it does that is because it doesn't have oxgall in it. And oxgall on the other paints, they harden the paint, and so like it's hard to rejuvenate them instantly. You can rejuvenate them by a little bit. You put a lot of water in there, you leave them sit for a little bit, but that's not really a way of getting them to really. You need a lot of paint. Like I'm pouring paint. I'm actually putting a lot of paint when I'm doing this wet in the wet stuff. It's really, really thick, and so you really need to pick up a lot of paint. Otherwise, you're just doing a tint. And tinting is not a way of getting really bright, nice washes that look like a watercolor should. And so that's like I said, it doesn't have oxgall in it. It doesn't dry. And so what I do, and when it comes to, you're talking about it flowing out, no, it's like toothpaste. You put it in, and then you let it harden. You let it dry a little bit so that it stiffens up a little bit, and you want it to stiffen up because then it won't pour all over the place. And then once you have that, now as you notice, I'm running out of paints. I just did this workshop, and so I'm going to be putting more stuff in. I'm just waiting for my order to come in, and what happens is then you just leave it on there, and it'll just stay there easily. Like, we need you back in Vermont with Holbein painting classes. We are more. Oh yeah. Oh, they have beers there and breweries. Okay, yeah. Oh, more capita. All right, so definitely, we're talking about it. We're hopefully next year. I miss Vermont. It's 2 years now in a row that they haven't had it, and so hopefully next year I can come back to Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. I've been going there I think 15 years now. I've been going there every year for 15 years, and the last week in July we've been doing that for the longest time. And so now I'm going in here and doing like I said, all the rooftops, all the red rooftops. And even the red rooftops, I try to do wet in the wet and try to float other colors besides the red. Always try to think what else can you put into those colors. So Mary says, it's amazed me how you are so confident in your color. I always have to test on scrap paper. Well, I just kind of go with what I have. I don't really, I know it's going to be close to that color, and I let the colors mix themselves. So a lot of it's going to happen on its own, and if I know, I've already did this one, so I know the colors that what I used before. So I knew this was going to be too blue for me in this time, and so it made it a little bit lighter. I wanted certain things to be certain ways, and so yeah, I'm confident, but I kind of don't care much about if it's exactly a certain color. As long as it's close, I figure you're good enough. I don't need to have the exact color of something. I'm not copying off a photograph the color, especially. In none of my classes will you ever get a photo that's color. And I want you to make up the colors and just, if it's not that color, you don't like that color, then no, not to use it ever again. Like me and green. I don't like using green, so I don't put it in there very often. I try to stay away from green. And so that's how I pretty much, somebody had asked me in my last class about color theory and all that stuff, and how how to mix colors and this and that. I always say pick the colors that you love. The colors that you like are more important than, and how to mix them. That's you can buy many books on that. You can watch many videos on that. And I just say take your paints and take a scrap sheet of paper and go and have fun and just try it. Mix colors together, because you can say that a blue and a yellow will make a green, but which blue and how will that turn up to what green? I use all these blues with this quinacridone gold, and that's how I make my greens. So I take any of these blues and this quinacridone gold, there I have a green. An instant green, and I have to rinse my brush because I'm not going to use it. So, but that's how far I get into color, because the color, again, it's so personal, I think, to people, and you should be using colors that you love. And yes, the sky may be blue, but that doesn't mean it has to be just all blue. It can be other colors in there. And I've seen skies every color, and I've seen buildings every color. It all depends on what you like. And I always go, we had the one thing where we were doing one color the first week, and then the next week we did 2 color, the next week 3 color. That's a good exercise if you want to do that and you want to learn what colors you like and mix colors together. Like start out with just one color so you know how to use the medium, and then 2 colors to just use. I usually use the warm and a dark, warm and a cool, and then I went from warm and a cool to 3 colors where you do like all the colors. Because 3 colors, basically all colors. If you use a red, blue, and yellow, because those are primary colors, and so if you do those, it should make every color, right, or close to it. But it's just fun to mix them together and try things. Always try it. Always practice with it. Let's see, any other questions? I love the dark blue building. Did you make the chimney into dormers? These, no, I those chimneys? Oh, you're right, those are chimneys. Oh, God. Yeah, I made them in a dormer, sorry. I just noticed that. I did another one, too. I guess I didn't have my glasses on when I was doing it, probably. That's funny. Oh, my gosh, I'm looking now. You're right, those are all chimneys. I made them into dormers. Sorry, guys. Those are dormers now. Very funny. Nice to mention it. I did leave one chimney. I left that chimney right there. Let's put some color on there, by the way, anyways, while you're talking about it. All right, and so getting down here, and now where are we going? We're pretty much at our detail stage now. So let's go in and get the medium details, like the shadows off the building, But now, see, these are too dark, because this is, the lighter you have them, then it looks like you're seeing through the tarp. It's making a shadow. But then now, see, it's just one color. You know me, again, not one color. You got to put another color in there. What should I put in there? Throw maybe that blue in there. Throw the blue in there, because it'll maybe reflect a little bit. Don't ever use one color in an area. I don't care if it's a shadow, what it is, the building. Use a bunch of colors. And use colors that you used out. Again, with the color theory, is when I'm using blue and orange as my complements for this whole scene is blue and orange, basically. I go and I make sure I have blue and orange in there, and then when I use it somewhere else, I use it, just always switch around and try to use things everywhere. I can't introduce now a color that's way somewhere there's nothing like that around, unless maybe it's this person here and I want people to really look at that, because then it looks unreal, and it looks like that wouldn't be happening. Or it would, it could happen that way, but it's not a good art thing to do. It's not something you want to, as an artist, do that, because then your eye is going to that spot. Let's say for instance, for some reason, this rooftop was a bright lime green. Would you want to put that lime green roof on there? Even if the guy who bought this building, and actually now I look at it, it does look great, that building with the rooftop on there. So I changed that. So see, I made this red, and the photograph over here, you look, that's not red, right? I know most of the rooftops in Europe have the tile roofs, so I make that up on my own. And so I find that to be a better way of doing things, only because I'm the artist and I want it to look a certain way. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to like colors. You use the colors that make it better for you. Unless you're like a naturalist who wants to make sure that they make it exactly like the photo. Not a naturalist, you're not a nudist. A purist that wants somebody who just who wants to do the picture just like it is in the photo. And our hyperrealism. And again, those are all great, and but I don't teach that. You're gonna have to go to somebody else to teach you hyperrealism. There's a bunch of great artists out there who do some really neat stuff. Lynn Pratt is one of them, who's awesome. If you wanted to ever take one of her classes, some of the stuff that she does is super, super detailed, unbelievable. It's really cool how she can get into that. I cannot do it. I couldn't do more than an hour on a painting. Usually after an hour, I'm usually shot with that painting. It doesn't matter what it is, even in something like this. That's like I might keep all my demos to 1 hour. So I just did a demonstration for a club, the Palm Beach Watercolor Society in Florida, and I did it on black paper. And I said in my newsletter this week that everybody should be getting some of this black paper because we're going to be doing a watercolor on black. And let me just show you that really quickly. I just want to show you what I did. But here's what I painted. This was on black paper, black watercolor paper. We did this at a demonstration on Monday. And so get yourself a pad of black paper or a sheet of black paper. It's Stonehenge Aqua Black. It's the only person that makes a watercolor paper that's black. And then we will be doing, coming up, I'm not sure when, but coming up, we're going to be doing something on black paper. And it's actually a real lot of fun. It's like working opposite everything we're doing here. So I don't want to do it right away, so everybody's mind gets blown. They don't know what they're doing anymore because it is totally working in opposite. So what should I make the shutters on this one? Oh man. So I did them in red, and so that didn't look bad. I think I'll do them in red again, or in a burnt red type of thing. And so I'm just going to come down here and just put in some things. Did anybody ask some questions? Hey Maura, hey Patty, hey Pamela, hey Dot. Who else is new? Lynn, hey. Do I ever use burnt umber? I don't have any browns on my palette. I used to have burnt umber, raw sienna, burnt umber. I used to have all of them when I was going to school, but now I just mix my browns with the lavender and a violet and an orange. And I can make some really cool browns with the violet and orange. And because orange is my favorite color and violet is my favorite color, and so they make a brown. So we always have a big discussion about that in my class about my browns. How I don't mind browns. We just have a big running thing going on with browns. Let me go with my 1/2-inch brush now because this is a shutter brush. So violet, like I said, violet and orange make brown. Look at that, there's a brown. And that you just know because you do it a lot, and the more you paint, and again, that's when it comes to color, paint a lot, and then just try mixing things, and or don't even paint a painting, but paint on a scrap sheet of paper, and just have fun. Don't even think about doing a painting. Think about learning stuff, and none of us actually sit down enough and sit there and just practice. You know, artists don't practice for some reason. We all just take our brushes and paint paintings. We never sit down and, like, you know, every profession, you know, a lot of times you practice before you get out there on the sports field and have a game and stuff. But for some reason, artists just don't ever practice. We think we know what we're doing, and we just go right in there and just start doing. So a lot of times I will take out a sheet of paper and just see how a brush works, see how things work. I'm gonna turn the painting sideways here, so I'm doing the shutters, so I can just do a little bit faster and angle it. So yeah, again, try practicing once in a while, not doing a painting. And I'm not talking, like I said, not talking about doing a painting. I'm talking about taking a sheet of paper and seeing what your brush can do, seeing what colors you like, seeing how if you throw them on, spatter them, whatever, try different things. What happens if you stand on your head and paint? No, I'm only kidding. But you know, hey, you never know. You may be the next person on one of those art shows because you can stand on your head and paint. So just try different things. So that's my point. Try different things, okay, guys? Try different things. You be the next person that paints. You know how neat is it that so there's so many different ways of painting and so many different styles and stuff, that there are always things on like Facebook now, and always seeing these people how they paint certain things. It's very cool. So you'll be the next person that maybe invented something or a style and such. And that, how do you learn that? Is not by doing a painting. Well, yeah, kind of, but you have to do a painting. You have to practice different things and try different papers, especially try different papers and different brushes and all kinds of things. Here I'm saying that, and I'm trying to sell you my brushes, right? But that's okay. You know, there's many different kind of brushes out there. It's all fun. Now I'm going to go here. So let me turn this back again. And so see, it's a lot easier for me to do it sideways like that. And no, that's not a big turd out there. That's my kneaded rubber eraser. And you can tell I rolled it across my paper today because I had a lot of pencil marks on there. So if you take your kneaded rubber eraser and roll it on your paper when there's just the paper, or just the pencil on there, it removes the graphite, and so it doesn't get into your light colors. So when you're painting, just an idea. And so now let's get going darker. 7-Eleven right now. I just looked up there. 7-Eleven. So we still got a little bit of time. Any questions? Violet and orange to make brown. I mean, also recently discovered the charm of brown and orange. Oh, yep. Brown and orange is great. So here we're going to put a little bit of light in here. Or a little dark, a little shadow over the awning that I just invented. Again, do whatever you want. Put awnings in there. I mean, I went to Venice, and all these little shops have little signs, and it's kind of all over the place. There's all kinds of, and also the building itself, they're not so perfect. Some of them, the ones that are older, they have a lot of little marks in them and little things and wires all over the place. And so you don't have to be really careful with some of the stuff in the background. And so be a little sloppier, because it makes it look more realistic. Now, should I make this door light or dark? So if these people are going to be in the shadow or light? I didn't think about that. See, you should always know these things. Let's go and let's do it down here first, now let's think about it. So if they're probably going to be in the side of them will be light, they'll be dark. Okay, they'll be dark. I decided they're going to be dark. All these decisions. The more you work out, that's one thing about watercolors, because you work out more stuff in the beginning than most oil painters and pastel artists, or any of the other artists who work not with watercolor. They don't really work out their painting. They kind of just go in there. They may do a value study, I think some of them do value studies or a little preliminary sketch. They may do that, but us watercolorists, we do a value study, or we use our paint or photograph, turn it black and white, and make stuff like that. But you should know what you're going to be painting, because it's a little bit harder than just going. You can't go back in and you can erase it, but you don't want to. You want to go in there with one wash at the most, two, maybe three at the most, 3 washes, and then you want to be done. You want to be done with that particular spot. Not every some parts you can do more. If you glaze it right, you can go in there many times. But the thing is, you try to get that last wash that shows that what's floating in the pigment, that you want to get in the one wash so that it can float, gives it a chance to float and everything. So here we're going now. Can you guys hear the party going on behind me? I hear people laughing and talking. There's a pool party going on behind me. Cheers, guys. Cheers. All right, so we're going to go and put dark. I'm going to go with my round now. So now we're going to get our detailed darks, like the people and everything that's detailed. And so for that, use a smaller brush, because I'm going to detailed. I don't want to have a huge brush if I'm putting a line like this that's really thin. And so go like this. Again, go like that. going to stand up here a little bit so I can get up here a little bit higher. Put that in there. And see how I just do, when people say they want to loosen up, well, I don't sit there and take a ruler to make these lines perfect on these windows. It's not a painting like that. It's more of a, a gesture of this window. And so I don't need to have it perfect. On my bigger paintings where I do want it a little bit more perfect, then I'll sit there and spend a little bit more time. But for something like this, this is a fast, sketch of paint type painting, not too detailed. And I talk a lot about that only because it's like everybody has their own style. Somebody who's very clean and very precise, they can't a lot of times do something like what I'm doing right here. It would just kill them. They're sitting there and they see me do these things and they're like, oh my god, look how sloppy that line is. And you just cringe, right? I know that you guys are out there. And but we all paint differently, and thank God that we all paint differently, because it'd be terrible if we all went to a gallery and everybody had the exact same style and painting. It would never work. So it's all good. It's all good. Everybody paint what they want. Paint, paint, paint. Just paint. Just make sure you paint. That's all. That's what you want. And something in here. Any questions? It amazes me how you are set up, and we need to buy. There we go. Okay. Let's go down here and get some more dark details. Even the boat has details, like the side underneath the little rim here. I'm gonna put a little rim. Let me make this a little bit darker. And I made it one color. That's not good. So I'm gonna put a little worm in here. And then I'm gonna take this around. Make this the dark side. There. Maybe these little things have those little red stripes on it like they do in Venice. Some of them have the little red stripes. A lot of them don't anymore, but hey, we can do it whatever we want. Put a little red ball on top of that one. And what are we doing now? I'm going to do a little bit more brighter. These lines on here. Bring them down like in the front. And now let's do the people. Okay, she's got red on, of course. And he's got some dark pants on, probably blue jeans. There we go. And then I'm making them dark, and then I'm gonna maybe make the door a different color, but I'll keep it light. I'll keep it a little bit lighter. In a flesh tone, I'll use a little pink or jaune number 4 for my flesh tone. No, he should have a jacket on. Looks like he's bare chested here now. Put something on, guy. You're in the middle of Venice. There we go. So here we go. I put there. Put a little shadowing across underneath, so you can't tell which is the boat and which is the. And then there's something happening here. I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's put this in there first, and let's get the shadows. And then I'm going to mess this up a little bit because I don't like how clean all this stuff is. A little shadow around the sign. We'll make it any sign you want. Boom, boom, boom. There's a name. Now here's a name of this store. I don't want to name something. I'm not that tight enough for that. We're going in there with just something that's. I probably should make it a little bit better color though, right? Let's make it a little bit more blue in there. And then that way it touches this area because we got a lot of blue in here. And let's there's a flower box right here. Oh, I'm gonna put green in there now. Nope, we're gonna put in red flowers. There we go. No green in these flowers, it's just red. We're not putting green in this painting. There we go. Let's try a little bit of these lines. So the lines that are the clotheslines, you've got to put them in either really quickly and with a really thin brush like this rigger brush. Okay, here's an antenna. What the heck happened there? Oh, I'm gonna have to put something here too. Some kind of antenna there. A line going across. Here we got a line going across. Confidence. Just take the brush and go. Don't stop. And I'm gonna do some white ones too. Some white lines, but not yet. We'll wait for that. Let's do a couple more dark ones. Another antenna right here. And then we got a bunch of lines here. Then we got the windows, has the window panes, each pane and stuff, and then I'll put it on the dark side. I'm always thinking that my sun is going this way. It's coming from behind the building and hitting this way. As you can see, all the shadows are on that side. So that's how I think. I just the whole time I know where your light source is, know what you want to put where, know where your darks are going to be. And down here, I know this was a grid, so I'm going to make this all dark and then put a little bit darker grid on top of that. Make there's a little gate on top of this window. Okay, and there is another person here. We'll give her red hair because I like redheads. We go redhead, there we go. And then we're gonna do this. And let's put some darker blue in this window back here behind the shadowing of that little area. Now this area, it's middle tone type of thing. Middle tone dark. It's not the darkest dark. It's not light and it's not dark. It's in the middle. And so now I'm gonna go with like a black, a really dark black, and with a blue maybe just to give it a little bit of color. And so that black, that's how I get my blacks to be color. I don't mix my blacks with color to get color. I take a black and then I just put it in there with, I put color into it, and that way I get a color that's black and a colored black. And so in my drawing, or in the photo, let's see what we got here. We got, there's underneath one of these, I'm looking to see if I can, there's these little balconies, and so I'm just going to go underneath them. I'll go above them. There's a door that's going to be above them, right? And I'm going to follow there's my vanishing point, so I'm going up, so you got to follow that vanishing point. And then there's going to be a bunch of little iron work there that you don't really see in the photo, but I'm just making it up. Somebody in class asked me today, I don't see that in there. I go, yeah, well, there's a lot of things I don't see in there either, but I just put them in there because I want them in there. I don't see them. I know that in buildings that they usually have, like, the balcony has these little iron grid vent gates and stuff in front of them, so I know that's the way it is, and so I just use that knowledge from always painting other ones that, so again, know what you paint and love what you paint, love this subject matter, because then you're going to get to know it really well. And when you know your subject matter, it's not that hard to make stuff up. There's buildings here, and most of these buildings have shutters there. There's a vanishing point. Vanishing comes here, straighter, and a door that goes all the way down. And you notice how fast I'm doing this. I'm just kind of getting in there, getting some of the darks in there, because we only got 7 minutes left, and so we have to get this done. So let's go in here, hurry up, sure. Now I'm getting worried here. So get in there. Some reflections. That door, I don't know what to do with the door color. Let's make it blue, or just dark. And then maybe make a window in there. Okay. And another person right here. Hurry up, Dave. We only got 5 minutes. Oh, I got a little bit more than that. Let's maybe put a couple people here. Some more people. Now, this brush again. Put the grid on like I was talking before. Maybe there's a little line of something here. There's a weird grate right here. I'm not sure if there is one there, but hey, I'm going to put a grate right here. Then put a little line where the water meets the building. I'll make it really dark right there, because it always is dark right where the water meets the buildings. Or a shoreline, it's always really dark at that point. And of course reflections of that in the water. Oh, somebody asked a question. Have you shifted the perspective of the building on the left? You have found more details for the windows than appear on the photo. Yeah, I just kind of made it up. Again, I didn't follow the thing exactly. Actually, there's actually 3 buildings, or 2, another building I kind of left out. So yeah, I kind of squished it together, or I made it wider. I didn't shift the perspective. I just didn't put another building in there. I just made it shorter, a building, I guess you could say. Yeah, when you're drawing freehand, a lot of times, you know, I'm not so particularly wanting to make sure that I get exactly what I see to measurement. You know, I'm not going to get a ruler out there and say, oh, this building there and there. I just want to have it look nice, you know. And I like the process of just going in here and just painting and not having to worry if it's exactly that. I'm not a copyist. I don't copy the photograph. I like to, oh, she's got a mask on. See that? Look at that. I just put a mask on her. So she's very fashionable and it's very current. So here we go. Let's put a little dark in the boat. Put the lines in the boat. And then we're gonna do a little bit in the I'm gonna do a little bit. How much? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We can do this. We can do this. So in the laundry here, I don't want to just keep them white. I'm gonna take a little bit of sky color because most of the stuff is white, and so I'm gonna put a little bit of wrinkle in them because they're floating in the air or floating in the wind, and they're kind of like. So I'm gonna put a little bit of lines here and there to show that they are not just white things. So there are a little bit of light blue in them. And if you wanted to put some color, but I don't want to do that because again, now I have something that's white and white, and if I start putting color in there, I give it too much attention, and I don't need that right there. I want my attention to be down here by the masked lady. Maybe she's a superhero. Here we go. And so we'll put that down there. Let's make this dark. Oh wait, a little bit more. How much time? 26. Any questions? Artistic license. Yes. No, exactly. Everything I'm doing here is artistic license. I can do anything I want. And actually, if you come to Dillman's, you actually get a piece of paper that gives you your artistic license. And they actually, after you get done with the course, we give you a artistic license, a real paper license. So come to Dillman's and take my workshop. You can get an artistic license. I think that's almost about it, huh? Look at that. Oh, there's bars down the bottom. I said it one more time. The bars here across the windows. Oh man, I'm covering it with my hat. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's get up here. All right, so now last thing, white ropes. I love using white at the end. Sorry, TWSA, but I'm using white on this one. We're gonna go in here and we're just gonna have fun with white, or just more of a white color. I use titanium white. Just gonna go in here and make some things light up. At the edge of these people, I'm gonna make them light up. I'm gonna put the top on there. Oh, what happened? Oh, what's that? I think this is a shadow. Okay, we'll make that a shadow by putting something over it. I have a little rope hanging here on the front of the boat. Look at that. Isn't that cool? A bit of light on top here. And a little dot here, a little bit light through you can see. Now I put a couple little things up here like it's hitting around the darks. Push that a little bit. Done. I think we're good. Let me look at it in the up small. Let's get the tape off and see. And so for another week, the right side still seems too dark. The right side still seems too dark. Any chance you could pull up some of the paint? Too dark? Oh, it is kind of dark, isn't it? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, let's try that. It does seem very dark, doesn't it? Maybe up here on the top part, we're gonna leave a little bit of that lighter. Good vision, guys. Who is that? Anne. Hey, Anne. Yeah, thanks for helping. I'll make it a little bit lighter. And so all you do is re-wet it. All you do is re-wet and then pull a little bit out of there, and then maybe add some lighter colors. And I will put a little bit of the orange in there. And it's floating, so it will look like it's the first wash. It will not look overworked because I'm re-wetting it. And if I want to put detail back in there, I can, but you really don't need that much detail in this area because it is the dark area. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing over here, put a little bit darker. Uh-oh, did we go over? 7:30. Okay, we'll get 1 second. There, put it a little bit darker. So if I can get some of this really, really dark over here too, that'll help too. So like over here, real dark, almost black. And then over here. All right, I think that'll do. And if it still is a little bit dark, I will change it up here, but you'll see it on Facebook. But that's about as far as I can go for right now. All right, guys. So here we go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for helping me out. Setting them. The rope. Let's see. The tape is coming off. Oh, tape it off slow. Get the tape off slow. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it in front of you guys. Wow, I'm sweating up a storm here. It's hot in this room. I gotta get the air conditioner on more often. Not 15 minutes before I go on the air. All right, so there we go. Let's see what the difference is from this afternoon and this one today. I think I got it pretty dark over here because, again, you guys make it lighter, and we'll see. What I'm going to do is, I think what I'll do is I'll rub this off a little bit and make it a little bit lighter on the top here. This is okay now. It's going to lighten up, but up there I'm going to lighten it like a little bit more like this one right here. So we're going to do a little bit more like that. But this one, everything was a lot darker, so it matched. But and actually by putting the darks in here, I think it was pretty good. But there you go, guys. Try this one. This is a fun one. This is a really fun one. I actually enjoyed both of these. This is a really good. It's a really good day today by painting these. And this one looks more like a night scene, right? Doesn't it? It almost looks like it's so dark over here, but the sky was really dark. So here's the dark, not so dark. But see how the light's coming through there. So until next Thursday, and next Thursday, I will be doing this from a hotel room. So it will be. I'm not sure yet. It'll probably be something Duluth oriented because I'm gonna be in Duluth, Minnesota next Thursday. And we'll be doing it right from the Radisson. I think it's a round building that looks right over. I may even do a shot of the whole city all on the top there. So until next week, guys. 9. Was it? What was rate this one? I think a 9. Yeah, it was a 9, 8 or 9. So see you guys next week. All right. Bye bye.